Man, welcome back to Man Down Sports, man. Mel and Chris, man. Go be here for about an hour and a half. We're gonna try not to go over an hour and a half. But we gotta go NBA, we gotta go NFL as well. So much stuff happened in the NFL free agency, and so much stuff has happened in the NBA with everything heating up, going toward the playoffs, and of course the MVP race, which we go get into right now. We get into the MVP race. And my whole thing is like it's been so much talk ever since the Kendrick Perkins and JJ Redick fallout that they had on first take, where Kendrick Perkins was saying things like, "Hey, look, man, Jokic is getting those votes based on racial bias, and he didn't deserve it, he didn't earn it." Whatever you think about all that stuff, I know for sure, everyone believes he didn't earn it last year, being in the sixth seed and somehow getting the MVP. So that was crazy. But this year is a little bit different. But also Embiid is playing lights out too, man. So I kind of want to get your thoughts on who you think is in the lead. I think Vegas just recently moved Embiid either past Jokic or they got them even for odds to win the MVP, right? But that just recently happened. Before that, everyone felt like Jokic was the runaway favorite, and then he went on the 4 game skid, and it probably changed a lot of people's minds. How do you agree with Vegas? How do you got it?
Um, well, I've been um, Embiid earlier in the season, so Vegas is just now catching up to what I believe should have been the thing the whole time. You know what I'm saying? Jokic, they did go on a 4 game skid to Toronto, Brooklyn, and some other teams, but it was teams that on paper Denver should have beat, but because they focused on the triple double aspect, because Jokic got I think like 2 triple doubles in 2 of those losses, and they focused on like running the offense through Jokic, and then Jokic not playing defense like a center should. They got exposed. They lost 4 games to teams that they shouldn't have lost to, and Embiid, um, on the other side is cooking. Like I watched, I watched the game against Cleveland, and he was masterful. He had some incredible blocks that even the sportscasters were couldn't believe how he did it, because one of them he had jumped full vert to a block to attempt another block facing this way, and came back down and turned around and jumped again full vert to block Evan Mobley at the rim. And that was just one of like 3 or 4 blocks that he had that game. On top of, hitting clutch baskets, kind of icing the game. And even though he had 5 fouls, he was able to still be aggressive. He didn't back away. He still got in there and played, and still ended up racking up some clutch time and fourth quarter points. This is what Embiid has been doing all season. I don't know why people
Yeah,
are just now
from the
seeing it
from
and
the
just now
jump.
noticing it. Exactly. He's been doing this all season. And MVP is most valuable player, which means you're valuable to your team in every aspect on both sides of the ball. That means you're good on offense, you're good on defense, and you're reliable. We can count on you to get us wins when we need it. And that's what Embiid is doing. Embiid is embodying the definition of MVP. Jokic is not and has not and hasn't for the last 2 seasons.
So I mean, what's the disconnect then? Then why? I mean, why Vegas had him the favorite? Why most of NBA analysts and most of the media had him as the favorite, and still a lot of them say he's going to win his third in a row.
Honestly, my opinion is Kendrick Perkins wasn't that far off when he said what he said.
Which is what? What do you say?
That the majority of the voters are of lighter complexion and vote for those of the same complexion or the
I mean,
European players.
and I think the pushback that JJ Redick and other people, because this blew up on Twitter, man, when Kendrick said this, the pushback that people is given is basically because they feel like they're being accused of being racist. And I don't think Kendrick Perkins was saying that. He's saying that there's a little bias there, whether it's conscious or not. It could be unconscious bias to vote for an underdog. And for sure, in a sports that's dominated by black males, a white male is going to be an underdog. in the MVP discussion. We very rarely have MVP races where we have our white counterparts being a top candidate, right? So when the opportunity comes, when they are the top candidate, a little bit of bias goes into the voting process, in my opinion. But we're not saying Jokic is not a great player. We're not saying that he's not worthy of being in the conversation. We're just saying that Embiid is outperforming him, and we're saying why. So let's go through what Jokic got going for him as far as his MVP. He is averaging a triple double. You can't dismiss that, right? So isn't that good for something?
Is it though? Because I mean, like, I said it on a previous episode. If that's the case, then Westbrook should have had 3 MVPs, right? Those 3 years in OKC.
Yeah.
So I mean, what's the difference there? And honestly, that triple double was a little bit more impressive to me than this one.
I don't think so. I don't think any of Westbrook's triple doubles was impressive, and I've been on record saying that from the word go. Ever since he was averaging triple double, and I started watching and saying, "Look, man, they're barely winning games." He was sitting at the number 6 seed in the West, right? Barely making the playoffs, and he was just gunning the ball, just pretty much ball hogging. I'm going to do everything for the team. And when you do that, you're going to get those stats. You know, he's a good passer, he's a good scorer, and he was in his prime and he was a blur on the court. So when you're playing like that, where you're saying, I'm going to be the point guard, I'm going to run the offense, and I'm also going to be the primary scorer, and I'm going to run the offense through me. Like, that don't even make sense. When you have a primary scorer, you usually have a point guard that runs the offense, because the point guard would get the other 3 guys involved, including himself. So 4 guys, the point guard is in charge of getting involved, but the star player don't need nobody to get him involved, because he can get his shot anytime he wants to, a high percentage shot, right? So usually when you have players like that, like Jordan, like Kobe, like Kawhi, like Kevin Durant, like even Steph, right? And like Tim Duncan, and like Jokic, if we want to add in the big men, they're so good that when it's time to get a bucket, just throw them the ball and they can get it within the offense or outside the offense. But you need someone to run that offense, because you don't want to be going to the well for one player all game long. But when you do that, that one player will have a lot of stats. So that's why I never respected the triple doubles from Russell Westbrook, because he was getting it the wrong way. And I think Jokic is getting it the wrong way as well. It's just different, right? Westbrook was a point guard, right? And if you want to be the primary scorer, it's best not to be the point guard at the same time, right?
Okay.
You should operate off the ball a lot, like Steph does, like Kyrie does, right? Westbrook wasn't doing it. He didn't have another guy that was creating. He was doing all the creating, and then he was calling his own number to score as well, right? So he was doing it that way. And so naturally the points and assists came, but he had to go hunting for those rebounds. So instead of him playing lockdown defense, he would sag and guard 9 scorers. That way he can hunt down those long rebounds. What Jokic is doing is, since he's 7 foot, the rebounds come natural. Since he's a great scorer, the points come natural. But to get those double-digit assists, he's got to go outside of the post and run point and run the fast break a little bit more than he normally would. If you look at all his other years, he was shooting more in the post. He's shooting less now because he wants to play point guard a little bit more often to get those assists. So he's taking himself outside of his natural realm to really hunt assists, and it don't look like stat padding, because it looked like he's been unselfish and not taking a lot of shots, but he's really been a little bit selfish because he's hunting down those assists. You get what I'm saying? Neither one of them are impressive. Neither one is impressive. Even Oscar Robertson's triple doubles wasn't that impressive. He ain't never win while he was averaging a triple double. Right? So the triple double itself is not all that impressive when you're averaging it, because to average it, you have to play a certain play, a style of play, which is not conducive for winning. But even now, so even more so now, is even less impressive, man. But I don't know, man. What's your thoughts on it?
No, I agree. It's a pretty inflated stat now, and I also blame Russell Westbrook. If he hadn't done it those 3 seasons in a row, we might still have some sparkle to it, some astonishment whenever it happens. But
Right.
the the triple double is completely overrated now. It doesn't equate to wins. It doesn't equate to playoff success, as we seen last year when Denver got bounced by Golden State in 5 games. It's just I don't know. I think people like I think now athletes, or at least Jokic, feels like I need to average a triple double in order to be MVP or be in the MVP race. But if you're caring about that and you haven't won a ring yet, or you haven't even made it to the Western Conference Finals or the finals yet, then you've already kind of set yourself back. You got to get those. You got to get a ring for, or you got to have some kind of playoff success before you can start worrying about personal awards. And I feel like Jokic is now just kind of mulling through, just racking up personal awards instead of actually trying to win and make a deep playoff run.
Well, I mean, he's number one in the West, so he is winning, right? So that's an argument in his behalf as well. Like they're winning ball games, and until they lost 4 games in a row, it should have been 5 games. That Toronto game, the referee gave them a lot of love in the fourth quarter, but
It
when
should
they
have been
lost the four
6 last
games in a
night.
row, when they lost the 4 games in a row, that was the first time they lost when he had a triple double. So
hmm
they were undefeated this season when he got a triple double, which was reason for people to say, well, why, if you're winning every time you do it, then why not keep doing it? So I get that argument. However, I wouldn't classify the most prestigious award in basketball, which is the MVP. I wouldn't classify it just by fantasy numbers, like playing fantasy basketball. Just look
hmm
at the stats, just look at the numbers, and that's your MVP. I wouldn't do it that way. So let's nail down a criteria. What is your? I'm gonna give you mine because I thought it out pretty good. But what is your criteria? What are you looking for in the MVP? What is your criteria for the award?
For me, it definitely has to be. You have to be good on both sides of the ball. You can't be great on offense and on defense. You can't be great on defense and on offense. You have to be good on both. You have to be reliable on both sides of the ball. You can score, you can pass, you can defend, you can block, you can defend 4 or 5 positions on the court. So you got to be good on both sides of the ball. Of course, you still have to have some offensive numbers. You're not gonna be MVP 17 points a game. So you got to be probably the main scorer, the lead scorer on your team. But it also has to be conducive with winning. I think a winning record is pretty important as to the MVP, because if you putting up these outrageous numbers, but it's not translating to wins, if you're not, I think if you're not a top 3 seed in the conference, then you're
Okay.
not in the MVP discussion, because you have to be MVP, you have to be good, and you have to translate to team success as well. Your team has to be good around you. You have to make your team better, and you have to be winning as well as being good on both sides of the ball to be considered MVP in my book.
Okay. So that's okay. That's good. So you said a winning record, and then you said top 3 in your conference.
hmm
So is there any opportunity for someone outside of the top 3 to be in the discussion? What if they top 4?
I was thinking top 4, but it's like nah, because that's well, we'll go top 4, because
Okay.
sometimes it could be really tight between the 1 through 4 seeds. It could be really
Yeah, I
tight.
get it.
So we'll,
I
we'll
get
say
it. No,
typically
but I'm just scrutinizing a little bit. So if you say top 4, then I come and say, well, what about top 5?
no, 'cause you have to be able to host a round in the playoffs to be considered
Okay.
in the
Okay.
MVP.
Okay. So in that case, what if I'm top 5, but circumstances was that my number 2 was hurt for the season, like Jokic last year. He didn't have he didn't have Michael Porter Jr. or Jamal Murray, and he was a 6 seed. So everyone was saying because he's a 6 seed and he didn't have his number 2 or his number 3, then we'll make an exception. So is there any exceptions to any of your rules?
Well, if you get in at the 5 seed, you lose your Robin, and you can't do nothing. I mean, you don't deserve to be MVP. It's not most valuable players; it's most valuable player. That means if you
Okay.
lose your number
Okay.
2,
Okay. No, I'm good with that. So you making strict rules, and you're not saying however there's an exception. You're saying, look, man, if you ain't top 4 in your conference, forget about it.
yeah,
Right? That's what you're saying. Okay.
if you lose a co-star and you're not that guy to still elevate your team, that co-star losing that co-star is detrimental to your success. No, you're not MVP. No.
Okay. And it's just unfortunate. Yeah, I understand you lost your co-star, but so what? I mean,
If you're that guy, then you can elevate your team by yourself.
yeah. Or look, we just taking the top performers, and you was just not a top performer. You was in the 6 seed. I get it.
Yeah,
So
I can't allow somebody who is a visitor in the first round of the playoffs to be MVP.
yeah.
That's
So
unacceptable.
Jokic shouldn't have got the MVP last year then.
He shouldn't have got no, not at all.
Okay.
I will preach that over and over again. The first
Okay.
one I will give you some kind of credit for, but the second one, and if he gets this one, absolutely not. It should have been Embiid's last year, and it's Embiid's this year.
All right, so let me give you my criteria, and I want you to scrutinize it. I want you to scrutinize it, and see if it's airtight, right? I narrowed it down, quite simple, right? And then it get a little complex when I explain it, but it's quite simple. I take the highest bar set by any MVP performance, and I make anybody that is a candidate try to reach that bar, and the one that reached the closest to that bar is more than likely going to be my MVP. Right? So what's the highest bar for an MVP season that you've seen?
The highest bar that I've seen,
Right.
I've personally seen, would be Steph Curry's unanimous MVP.
No. I'm not talking about unanimous. I'm talking about what's the high. Okay, so what was the bar that he set? He was what did it? Was he the scoring? Did he get the scoring title that year? Probably so.
I think so, because he was hooping.
Okay, so he got a scoring title. His team was number 1 in the league.
I think they was number 1 in. Yep.
Because of course they was number 1 at least one of those years, because they won 72.
Let me see.
I think it's one high. I think it's one higher that you missing, but we'll play this out.
One higher than Steph?
Of course.
You said that I've seen.
Okay, or that you know of.
Oh, wow. Okay. So I don't know all the. Well, probably Mike.
Probably Mike. Good choice. I'm glad you said that. All right, so let's go to Mike's first. Let's go to Mike's first MVP. 87-88. If you look all the way to the right where that green circle is at, he got the defensive player of the year that year. He was the scoring title. He got the scoring title, averaging 35 points a game. He was the steals leader, made all NBA first team, all defensive first team, and got the MVP, and he played all 82 games. So in my mind, that is a very high bar of a player that pretty much kind of what you said. He plays on both ends of the floor. He was elite as a scorer, and not just elite. He was the best scorer in the league. He was the best defender in the league, right? And that's evident by his defensive player of the year and best scorer by his 35 points and his scoring title. And then and he got MVP, right? And then he played all 82 games. So that's what I'm measuring. I want to see a player that's elite on both ends of the floor. I want to see the team success in the amount of wins. And I want to see that you was an unstoppable scorer as well, and that you played in most games that you could, right? So when you take that now when I'm trying to come up with who a candidate is, the first thing I do is look at the team success. So I go down the list on the East and on the West. I go to the top 4 teams. right? And I pick
Mhm.
my candidates from those top 4 teams. So automatically, if you're not in those top 4, just like you said, you're not even your name don't even get dropped in the hat,
Yep.
right? So all the people that Vegas is saying is a candidate because they're still saying Luka is a candidate, his name don't even get in my hat,
Luka.
right? They
Oh,
still got him as a candidate.
one more thing to my criteria, real quick. You also have to pay. You also have to play a certain amount of games. You can't be an MVP and you missed 20 some odd games. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, but what if all the qualified players also miss 20 something games? You get what I'm saying? So I want to see you playing in most of the games, and that is not a disqualifier if you miss games. However, when it's neck and neck with another player, when y'all going at it, if he played more games than you, and I ain't talking about like 2 or 3 more games, I'm talking about significantly more. Like
Yeah.
like he played 70 games and you played 60, then I would give him a check in the box for that, and you would get probably not a check, or if I was doing it by a grade, he'll get an A+ and you'll probably get
A
a
minus.
B or a C. You get what I'm saying?
Damn, for real?
Oh, I mean, yeah. So here 88, yeah. 88. That's the one I just said. It was MJ. So by that criteria, let's look at the top 4 teams. On the West, it's who? It's Denver,
Sacramento,
Sacramento,
Memphis, and Phoenix by a slim margin.
And I don't think Phoenix 4 no more. It's somebody else.
It's Denver, Sacramento, Memphis, Phoenix, Clippers, Warriors. That's 1 through 6. Clippers just played the Warriors and they beat them, and they were tied for the record. And Golden State was 5th, and they just swapped positions.
All right, hold on. All right, let me see. Oh yeah, no, you're right. Suns number 4. Okay,
Yep.
so
they holding on without KD.
Let's grab the names.
All right, so
Jokic, number 1, from the Nuggets. I got him as a candidate.
Yep.
All right, number 2 is the Kings. Is there any candidates?
De'Aaron Fox
Over Sabonis?
Yes.
I do think Fox is the number 1. He is the guy that is the leading scorer, or
he's also a defensive stalwart too.
He is. But Sabonis is a guy who's almost averaging a triple double as well. He's pretty much doing the same thing Jokic is doing, except as a number 2, and Fox is the number 1. So you would vote for Fox over Sabonis,
for the simple fact that even though like you put together a good argument, but for the simple fact that crunch time, ball in the hand of somebody who needs to make a game winning shot is De'Aaron Fox, and he's shown it plenty of times this season. That's the advantage.
And I think that's real interesting because Sabonis and Jokic numbers almost kind of look identical, except that Jokic is averaging 10 assists and Sabonis is averaging 7, and then Jokic is averaging 24 points and Sabonis is averaging 20. But 20 and 10 and 24 and 10 is what they're doing. 20 and 10 for Sabonis and 24 and 10 for Jokic. And then 20 and 12 for Sabonis and 24 and 12 for Jokic for points and rebounds. And then he got the assist 10-7. So it's very similar. Very similar. It's very interesting. So what happens if you just looking at the numbers, right? You would have somebody like Sabonis in there instead of Fox, right? That's what happens when you're just looking at the numbers, whatever.
But it's also eye test. It's what I've seen too. No,
of course. Yeah, I'm with you. So Fox is a candidate
for in my eyes. Yes.
Okay. Vegas don't even have him as a candidate.
Not even up there. I don't even think he's top 5.
Right. Because it's all about numbers to them, right?
Yep.
Grizzlies is
it would have been Ja.
It would have been
Ja, but
not anymore.
No, sir.
Okay, and then Suns. KD missed too many games. Booker missed too many games. So Suns don't have a candidate, right?
Nope.
So on the West, and of course, if you go to number 5, Clippers, same thing. Kawhi, too many games missed. Number 6 is the Warriors. Steph, too many games missed, right? And then there's no point in go all the way to number 8 with a team sitting at 500 and Luka, and give him.
I'm not giving no MVP to no playing team.
Right. But Vegas still got him number 5.
Are you serious?
Yes.
Oh my god.
They got him number 5. So on the West, we only got 2 candidates.
Facts.
Jokic and Fox.
Yep.
All right, so let's go on the East. Bucks is
Giannis.
Giannis a candidate? Okay, so there's three
Kennedy.
a candidate, right? Celtics is Tatum still a candidate?
Yeah.
Yes, but he's falling to me,
Yes.
right?
Definitely.
So that's four, and then number three is Embiid. That's
Ooh,
five,
that's the front runner for me.
right? And then if we want to go to number four, the Cleveland Cavs got Donovan Mitchell. Would you throw him in there? You might as well if you throw Fox in.
I mean, yeah, they're the fourth seed, but
I mean, for now, later we'll disqualify him later once we start looking at the numbers.
okay, we'll put him in there.
But right now we got five candidates, and three of them on the East. We got no, actually four. We got six candidates, four of them on the East. Giannis, Tatum, Embiid, Mitchell, and then Jokic and Fox. Six
Now,
candidates.
Put those six in order from favorite to going down the line. In your opinion.
You do it, and
Okay.
and remember we own a check in the box on team success right now. So
Okay.
as far as team success, I think that's kind of easily number one would have to be the team with the best record, which is the Bucks. So Giannis was number one according to this metric. So we'll give Giannis you want to do this by a grade, a letter grade, or by a number? Let's do it by a number. So rank them by 1 through 6 because it's six candidates. So Giannis would be
actually, no, he wouldn't.
Why?
Missed too many games. He been out. He just got back actually.
So it even go even deeper. So we'll say how many games are you actually accredited to, because you can't be accredited for the games you miss.
Nope.
All right, we ain't got time to do that one though. But that's a good point. So let's just do it. Let's just,
this year. So.
Yeah. Okay, so that's a good point though, Chris. We'll come back. We'll come back and do that. But for right now, I would have to give the first place votes for team success to Giannis, right? And since it's only two of us, so he get both first place votes, right? We'll vote for 1, 2, and 3. So Giannis will get both first place votes.
Okay.
Right. And then second place votes will go to who? They go to Jokic.
What, for team success?
Yeah.
What's Philly record?
Philly's record is 46-22, and the Nuggets is 47-23. Oh, I'm sorry. No, it'd be Tatum. Tatum 48-22. So Tatum will get the second place votes. Jokic gets the third place votes.
Based just off of team success.
Right. Moving right along. Yeah, it's moving right along. I mean, you got to be fair. If you're gonna come up with the criteria, you gotta be fair. So moving to the next thing. So team success was one, and then it was elite offensive play, right?
Mm-hmm.
And for Embiid, 33 points, 5 assists, and for Jokic, 24 points and 10 assists. How you want to grade this accounting for the assists?
I wouldn't put too much weight on the assists, because if you're my guy,
it's offense.
I understand, but if you're my guy, I want you to score.
I get that, but we gotta have a criteria and be fair across the board. I'm not trying to weight it toward my biases on what the score is.
You said
let's just do it by the numbers.
You said 24 points and 10 assists for Jokic, right?
Yeah, let me double check. Let me be sure.
24 and 10, and then it
look up Jokic. I look up Giannis.
Giannis or Embiid?
Well, let me look up Giannis first. So it looks like Giannis is at 31 points and 5.5 assists. We'll round up to 6.
Okay, I got Embiid I got Jokic at 25 points and 10 assists.
So that's 35. Well, no, 10 assists at 20 points, right? At least, right? So 35, 20, 25 plus 20 will be 55, right? And then for
45.
45, no.
You
Oh
said
yeah,
20 plus
25 plus
25.
20, yeah, 45. And
Yeah.
then for Giannis with 31 plus 5.5 or 6, that's 37. So 37 for Giannis. How many for
No, that's not because you said at least 2 points per assist, right?
yeah, I'm tripping.
So that'd
10.
be 10 points. Yeah, so that'd be
Yeah,
42 points.
42 points. 42 for Giannis.
44 for Jokic.
You said 44 for Jokic?
Yeah, because it's 45 because 25 points and 10 assists.
Okay, so Jokic got him on that. So
45.
what about Embiid?
I'm about to look it up. 33.5 on the points.
Right.
And 4.1 on the assists.
34 plus 8.
34, yeah. That's 42?
Yes. So Jokic got both of them by 3 points. So for the offensive output, we got to give the first place vote. What about Tatum? Let's go to Tatum.
Uh, 30.1 on the points.
Okay.
And 4.7 on the assists. So 30 and 5.
So 40. Okay. So first place is Jokic. Second place is
Giannis and Embiid.
Oh, is a tie for Giannis and Embiid?
Yeah, they both have 42.
Okay. So team success, Giannis got the first place votes, Tatum got the second place votes, and Jokic got the third. So right now Jokic is in the lead. He's got third place votes and he got first place votes.
Okay.
Embiid has just a tie for second. No, he didn't even register on the team success. He behind. He like number 4, right? Right. So Jokic is so far in the lead. But then when you go to the defensive end, that's where we lose Jokic.
Yeah, I'm trying to find the defensive stats. I'm about to go to ESPN.
I mean, I can already tell you right off the back that Embiid is top 6 in block shots.
Oh, for sure.
Right. Jokic is not even in the top 50. So I looked at it last night, and I kept going down the names looking for Jokic. And then when I got to Kyrie at like number 50, I was like, man, there's no point. I'm at Kyrie Irving for block shots, and I still ain't seen Jokic's name. Right. So for a 7-foot center, your job is to protect the rim. And he's not doing that. And he's also not stopping the man he's guarding. When you watch the eye test and you're looking at the game and you see Vucevic getting 25 and 10 on him, and then you see Gobert and you see who got him the other night, Jokic Porter with San Antonio, and then I mean, like, people is just eating his lunch on defense, right? There's an interesting stat out there that he leads the league in kick balls. He's got 45 kick balls out there, and that's a product of him giving up on defensive end and sticking his foot out there to try to stop the play on defense, kick the ball off a pass, off a dribble, because he can't do it with his hands. He can't move his feet well enough and stay in front of someone. So just stuff like that, we really lose him on the defensive end. So we can say his offensive input is slightly better than Embiid's, Tatum's, and Giannis's. But then when you add the defensive end, it's over.
It drops him down. It drops him down tremendously.
A whole lot.
Giannis actually got a defensive player of the year and the MVP, I think, was it the same year? Or was it one after another? Embiid is actually playing defense. Tatum plays defense.
Exactly. Everybody that's a candidate stops their man and is actually elite on defense. Not just okay, they're elite. So if they're elite as an offensive weapon and elite as a defensive weapon, it's a no-brainer. Two is better than one. 2 ends of the ball is better than 1 end of the ball. So when we start saying what's the highest bar that we ever seen from an MVP candidate, and we see offense elite, defense elite, right? And then we see scoring elite, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then you see that he played 82 games. So let's go to that. Who's played the most games? Probably
Embiid or Embiid and Tatum will probably have beat the most games.
played more than Jokic. Jokic probably played more games than them. Jokic don't miss a lot of games.
Actually, Embiid. So Embiid so far has played 55 games. I don't know how many games we are into the season. Is that about right?
We only got like 15 games left, so
He might have
we
missed.
we in the 60s.
Okay, so when did he miss some time? Oh, he did miss a couple of games. Yeah. So
Yeah,
Embiid's got 55.
Yeah, we're at 70 games. So he missed 15
Jokic
games.
has 62.
Okay, so Jokic got him beat with games playing if we're using it. So as far as offense and games played, I get a nod to Jokic, but the
Tatum
other
got
end
65.
of the 65.
Yeah.
So that's something that keeps Tatum in there. Tatum's defense, team success, games played. That's actually gonna push him up a little bit. That's gonna keep him in the race.
Mm-hmm.
So, if I'm looking at it, my number one, my personal number one will be Embiid, because now we're taking those metrics and trying to be fair across the board with how we grade it.
Mm-hmm.
But then now I got my personal eye test on who I see affecting the game more, and it's with stuff that metrics can't measure, right? So I would my personal number one would be Embiid, but if we actually looking at it by what we just did by the metrics, I think Giannis would be the number one. I think Giannis would be the number one, man.
By the numbers, sure, but even the numbers. I mean, he doesn't have better numbers than Embiid.
Oh yeah, because Embiid is number 6 in blocks.
So Embiid is averaging like 1.7 blocks, and he's averaging 1.1 steals. On top of
all over the place, and on top of 33 points a game, 34 points,
assists, 36.
Yeah.
Like what, 33 and a half?
Yeah, Embiid's number one. I got Giannis 2, and it's very hard for my number 3 between Tatum and Jokic, just because of the defensive piece.
Mm-hmm.
I
would, because on one side you have Tatum, who plays better defense than Jokic, but then you got team success with Denver having a better record.
No, Boston got the better record.
Yep, there it is. Tatum over Jokic.
So Tatum 3, Jokic 4. Do we have a 5th?
De'Aaron Fox, but
yeah, I will put De'Aaron Fox as my number 5.
Yeah.
So that's my 5. Embiid, Giannis, Tatum, Jokic, Fox. That's my 5.
Luka not even sniffing.
Luka's nowhere near it. Luka's nowhere near it. What is Vegas talking about? Luka's nowhere near it. At the 8 seed? Really?
Yeah, struggling
at the
to make
8 seed?
it.
Come on.
And honestly, listen, who's 9? 9 is that Portland or is that New Orleans? Either way, Luka not beating them.
9 is the Lakers.
Ew, they might beat them.
And then they ain't gonna beat the Lakers. And then 10 is the Thunder.
What? The Thunder scooped up? They made it to the play-in? Oh, snap.
Yeah. And outside looking in, Jazz at 11, Pelicans at 12, Blazers at 13. That's
shout out to the Blazers, man. Get that man some help.
Let him leave. Dame is on a whole different level, man. I'm gonna make my money. I'm gonna go out there and play my heart out. Whatever happens, happen. Like, he said, man, what's the point of me going out there trying to maneuver and do things for a legacy when I know after I finish playing, y'all ain't gonna talk about me. He said y'all gonna be talking about Ja, Luka, LeBron, KD. Ain't nobody gonna be talking about Dame. After Dame finished playing, why would they talk about him? He's not one of those ones.
You don't think so?
I mean, in game, yes, but in media, your legacy is basically the story that the media creates for you. And Dame is not trying to help them make a LeBron like story for him, because he don't care. Like I don't care what y'all say my legacy is.
I just
because
want to see that man get one, man. That's all.
man, look, he got he
He gonna be
forget
another
one.
Carmelo or a CP3.
He got 350 of them. Now he don't need one. He got 350 million.
I know, but that's one of those players, man, that you want to see them get a ring. They don't have to get like 4, 5, or 6, but one ring, man, to justify the work that they put in over their career. Because they ain't hoops. They ain't been a hooper, and they can't. I don't know why they don't give him no help.
Everybody
Why?
can't get a ring. Everybody can't get a ring, man.
This is true. This is true.
Everybody can't get a ring, man. But yeah, man, that's how I see the MVP, man. With a little bit of criteria, like I said, man. You look at the highest bar that's been set, and you make all the candidates try to meet that bar the best as they can, and then whoever is able to reach that bar, or get closer to that bar, is more than likely the MVP.
Yeah,
more than likely.
I agree.
So, real quick, man, some of the news that hit, man. The Lakers just put out a report saying that, look, we're not going to try to pursue Kyrie Irving this summer, which was like the rumor that was going on even during right before the trade deadline. And now they're dead and all that and saying, man, we good, man. We go try to re-sign D'Angelo Russell and keep what we got. Is that the right move?
Right move for the Lakers? No. Right move for Kyrie? Yeah. Kyrie doesn't need to be in another toxic situation again. And that's exactly what that would be, is another toxic situation. So
right.
To say that you're not going to pursue is, kind of crazy. You can at least fake the funk, act like you're going to pursue, and then when he signs somewhere, oh, no, we didn't get Kyrie, and then just go about your business. But it would be foolish for Kyrie to go back to, because it's clearly toxic, especially if LeBron is still there and then AD is there. Although Kyrie should be the number one, and he'll probably end up being the number two, but they're not going to even have, AD is going to be the number two, and Kyrie is going to be relegated to the third fiddle. And that's not fair to Kyrie, because Kyrie is nobody's third fiddle. You get what I'm saying? This is going to be a super toxic situation over there in LA. And right move for the Lakers? No. Right move for everybody else? Yes.
You think they would do him like Russell out there?
What you mean? Like Westbrook?
Yeah, put the blame on him if everything ain't going right.
Absolutely. That means there's a fall guy for LeBron and AD.
Yeah. Because they would be doing it now in Dallas because Dallas ain't performing too hot, right? They would be blaming Kyrie if he wasn't playing so good. They're trying to do it a little bit. But the thing about Mark Cuban in Dallas and Nico Harris, who's the GM over there, first of all, he got a relationship with Kyrie, right? So he's not going to buy into the media doing that, right? I think Sean Marks and Joe Tsai bought into what the media was saying. So whenever they say stuff on these shows, it was almost like Sean Marks and Joe Tsai was getting played like a fiddle against Kyrie, right? Mark Cuban and the GM in Dallas ain't that weak. So even if they try to throw stuff out there in the media, it's not sticking because they need Mark Cuban to actually be an idiot and let it stick. But it's not sticking. It's not. No. So this is the perfect safety net for Kyrie Irving, because Mark Cuban, you just can't play him. You can't. He got his own mind. So this might be the best opportunity for him to be shielded from some of that BS. He go, just like you said, he go back to LA around LeBron.
It's over.
Nick Wright and Shannon Sharp. Oh my God, man.
Skip. It wasn't LeBron's fault. LeBron gave me 33 last night. What did Kyrie do? Yo, AD was hurt, but what did Kyrie do? Kyrie should have stepped up.
Yeah,
Come on, Skip.
Yeah.
Come on, Skip.
They don't need that. Kyrie don't need that. So yeah, I'm with you on that, man. I agree.
Yeah.
I agree. The other thing, Michael Jordan is rumored to be selling his majority stake in the Charlotte Hornets. Should he sell it? And then how do you view his tenure? I think he's been there 10 years. Yeah, since 13 years, since 2010. How do you view his tenure there?
Well, 1, no rings. 2, not that many playoff appearances, if any at all. I think they made the playoffs maybe like twice.
One year with Steven Jackson and Al Jefferson, and 1 year with Kimba and I can't
Kimba.
remember. Yeah, pretty much just Kimba.
Yeah. I don't know, man. I feel like it surprised me because I was like, I never thought he would ever, give up on or give up the Hornets or sell them. But um, I don't know. It just kind of came out of left field. I think maybe he might be sick of it. Honestly, he might be tired.
Tired of what? Losing?
Yeah, yeah. Wouldn't you be tired of losing too?
He ain't losing financially though.
No,
So
not at all. But we know the competitor that Jordan is, and
sure.
he wants to excel in everything that he puts his hands on. He put his hands on the Hornets. It really didn't excel like that, or it didn't. It didn't. Excuse me. It didn't excel like that.
I see it different.
How you see it?
Right. Well, first and foremost, I don't think he really go sell the team. This is like when a college player put his name in the hat for the NBA draft and then withdraw it before the deadline, and then he stays in college. I think Michael Jordan is threatening Adam Silver in the NBA to lose his only black owner, minority owner, right?
Oh, damn.
Lose the GOAT, right? Because y'all haven't been that kind to me. They had a NBA All-Star scheduled for Charlotte 1 year.
They got taken somewhere else.
And it got taken away because one of the Charlotte local government officials vetoed a bill that would have put transgender bathrooms in all public places. And the LGBT community went online and ripped him apart. And because Charlotte was such in a bad light, the NBA was like, we can't even let you have the All-Star game this year. And they snatched it from him. He got it back 4 years later, right?
Yeah, I remember they still posted it, but I do remember it getting snatched. Where did they put it? They put it in because what year was that?
Man, this was, I mean, this probably was, what we're in 23 now. This probably was 2016, something like that, maybe.
I think 2016 was in Toronto.
Well,
it was in Toronto because it was Kobe's last All-Star game.
Okay. Well, nonetheless, that was unfair to Michael Jordan, but
Absolutely.
they don't have a problem with being unfair to Charlotte because Charlotte is just like a throwaway team, a throwaway franchise. All right, that's why they was able to notice the only black owners that ever owned the team in the NBA has been Charlotte. Mm-hmm. Look, man, that's a black town, black city, man. You can give them that one. You get what I'm saying? Bob Johnson owned it, then Michael Jordan owned it. That's a throwaway team. If you ever make a mistake and even draft a superstar, you got to give him up. You draft Kobe, nah, y'all can't handle him. Send him to a big market. You get what I'm saying? So that's what the type of franchise Charlotte is. Even when Anthony Davis was coming out of college and Charlotte had the worst record in the league, so they had the most balls in the lottery, right? Everybody was like, oh, man, we might get Anthony Davis. But what happened? The NBA was owners of the New Orleans Pelicans. They had Chris Paul. Yep. They vetoed a trade from Chris Paul to the Lakers because, we're not about to let Chris Paul go to LA, a big market. They just came out of the CBA and decided that we were trying to keep superstars in small markets. So they vetoed that trade because we're not about to let this superstar go from a small market to a big market when we just had a whole debate about this and came up with a plan around it. Mark Cuban blew the whistle on that. And what ended up happening is that was like, man, we got to figure out how to keep a star in a small market. But Chris Paul wants to leave. And we're trying to sell this team at the same time. What owner will buy this team without a superstar? He can't sell no tickets. So what did they do? We got a plan. We'll rig the lottery and let AD come to New Orleans. AD should have been in Charlotte. So they took AD from him. They took Kobe from him. They're never going to let Charlotte actually dig themselves out of the hole that they're in. And Michael Jordan understands that. So why he might be saying he's trying to sell the team, I think he's actually trying to signal to Adam Silver, get me somebody so I can turn this franchise around. Wembanyama, whatever his name is, Wembanyama. Say his name again.
Wembanyama.
Yeah. Give me him or give me Scoot Henderson. Give me one of those dudes. Don't do me bad in the lottery again. So what you're going to see from Michael Jordan doing this, you're going to see that they're going to get either the number 1 or number 2 pick this year. Mark my words.
Well, when I was looking at it, he's not completely selling. He's just selling the majority stake. He'll still be a minority owner, so he'll still be up there, but he just won't be the guy. He's selling the majority stake.
Okay.
So, but maybe that. I mean, maybe is there some truth to what you said? I forgot that he was the only black owner. I thought that maybe Atlanta or somebody would have had a black owner or something by now. Dominique went back and bought him or something. But yeah.
Dominique got a GM job there. I don't know if he's still the GM in Atlanta, but yeah, it's tough. I mean, we might only have one black owner in all of sports. I think Magic Johnson got a team for the Dodgers.
Yeah, he's part owner for the Dodgers.
Yeah, but I don't think he's majority. But as far as majority owners, Mike might be the only black one. We definitely ain't got one in hockey. We don't have Magic Johnson is the closest one in baseball. Football, we don't have one in football. Who was the minorities that bought Jacksonville?
That might be some black folk.
No, they not. They wasn't black. They were what's his name? Khan. He's a minority.
Oh, Khan.
Yeah, I don't know what his nationality is.
Shahid Khan, Pakistani American businessman.
Right. He still own it.
Yeah.
And then supposedly, I want to say Serena Williams had like 1%, or something was going on with Serena Williams in Jacksonville. Maybe they was having a feud with Khan. I don't know. Maybe she sold. It was something going on with Serena Williams and Khan. Can't remember what it was.
Nah, it's saying that Khan is the sole owner.
Okay, all right, but yeah, we got those type of minorities. Well, Pakistani or Jewish, they consider those minorities. But and then the Lakers got probably the only female owner, so those are minorities. So when they look at the pie and say, do we have minority owners, then they can say yes. We got Jordan, we got Khan, we got Jeannie Buss, anybody else who's not white or who's not male is a minority, right? So they look good on paper as far as letting minorities get fair share. But as far as blacks, it's only MJ.
That's crazy.
All right, man. And then Ja Morant, man. I don't know if you seen. Well, I didn't see the whole interview, but I seen clips.
I did. Saw the whole interview.
What'd you think about it?
Not impressed. Not impressed in the slightest. Both of them was reading off of cue cards. You could tell because they was reading and reciting slow as hell. Jalen Rose was throwing softball questions. What were you thinking when you decided to go on live, and whose gun was it? I just thought I'd be free, it wasn't my gun. I don't condone violence or anything like that. Man, shut up.
Yo, it's horrible, man. It's horrible.
That interview was terrible. And of course, you get Jalen Rose to do the interview, of all people.
They done went and dug up his old
Instagram.
Yeah.
Man.
Oh my God. He got pictures. I mean, he's been fascinated with guns for a long time, man. I'm talking about, man. God. Yeah, he got pictures of the double fist handgun, and then he got the caption will say something like, I'm high as AF, or something, cocaine this and that. Yeah. I'm like, yo, man, what is it?
I'm not taking nobody serious who was doing the light skin face. No, I'm not. No, you a thug? No, I got it. No, absolutely not.
I don't know what his fascination is. It's almost like he's always been fascinated with that street life, but he wasn't living it, but he liked it. So it seemed like his hard work to go pro was to get him to the street.
Crazy man did it
I really think he was like, man, if I can bring my status up to here, the streets, I can cross over to the streets and they accept me. I don't think they accepted him back then.
I could buy my way to being a thug.
Yeah, I could buy my way, just like Tekashi 6ix9ine.
You know what? I don't agree with the suspension though, and I got a lot of flack for it. People, was arguing me up and down about it. And I was like, because they gave him an 8-game suspension, which covered the 6 games that he missed already, which means he was eligible to come back to the team and play Monday against Dallas. They said he's not because he's got to ramp up and get back. I mean, dude, you missed 6 games. If you're not in peak physical condition to come back after missing 6 games, that's crazy. But 8 games was not enough. It was, and I feel like it was only 8 games because the NBA did their investigation and they couldn't figure out if that was his gun, right?
Right.
But
But you remember we talked about this last episode, and I said that exact thing was going to happen.
yeah,
You remember when I said, look, all they got to do is say it wasn't his gun, because as far as any laws that he broke or any NBA policy that he violated, though that he that threshold was set at if that was his gun, right? So all they had to do was say that wasn't my gun, and of course they can't prove it was because they can't see no serial number from the camera.
yeah,
Like, so like there's no way you can even do an investigation except if he told them himself and said it was my gun. That, I
which
mean,
he's
it
not
was
gonna do.
right. He's not gonna do right. It's like, So
Yeah,
I already knew that was gonna happen. That was gonna, if he was smart, they would come back and say, no, that wasn't my gun. I ain't gonna tell you whose it was. I ain't gonna snitch on nobody. So, that, like you said, that softball question, Draylen Rose threw at him.
whose gun was it?
Whose gun
It
was it?
wasn't my gun, and then
Was it
didn't say
mine?
whose gun it was. He just kept going. I don't
Yeah,
condone violence or nothing like that.
yeah. But I knew that was gonna happen. So, I expected this, and if he didn't violate any NBA policy or if he didn't break any
he
laws,
he
then how can he
did
be suspended?
he did violate the policy. That's why he got the suspension in the first place. But it was a soft suspension because
Yeah, but
the
conduct detrimental to the NBA is a different policy to break versus the gun
oh yeah,
policies.
no. But they had to put a name on it for the suspension, and because he went to go talk to Adam Silver the same day he had the interview, right? So the interview was later. He went to go talk to Adam Silver first about the 6 games is not a long time. 6 games is not a long time. Think about you guys probably threw a back to back in there. 6 games will probably cover a week and a half. If you can't stay in if you can't stay conditioned for a week and a half, that's crazy. And he's only
Yeah,
23.
yeah, because Kyrie, when he was out for all those games during the mandate, as soon as Kevin Durant went down, they said, Kyrie, we need you to come back. He came back
Dropped
the
a
next
40
game,
piece.
the very next game.
Dropped a 40 piece. But
You know what I mean?
he was in the gym the entire time too.
Yeah, but just like Morant should have been. I mean, look, come on, he went to a counseling rehab. Come on, man,
Yeah.
counseling
See,
for what?
You know what? And he was in the strip club too. So that's his fault. You gotta be game ready.
I mean, I guess so, but I mean, it was a different scenario because he was saying he was going to rehab and going to counseling and stuff like that. So it wasn't like he was getting up every day, having a free day to just get in the gym and work. You know what I mean? He was
You need a
supposed
couple
he was
hours.
yeah, he was supposedly going to get his head checked and all that stuff. And I just don't know a lot of people that's 100% concentrating on that is also concentrating on keeping their body tip top shape. You know what I mean?
Semantics.
When you have to get back to game speed, it's very different than just staying in the gym. Yeah, maybe for Jokic, but for a dude that's real in shape like
Yeah.
Ja Morant, you know what I mean? Hey, the phone line's open, man. Y'all want to call, man?
Oh my God. Yo, hey,
Before we get to the football,
Denver better hope Jokic never get hurt. Cause that ramp up gonna take forever.
if Jokic miss games and get hurt for a long period of time, they go be able to see what they got in Michael Porter Jr. and Jamal Murray. I think Michael Porter Jr. I thought he was gonna leave after his rookie contract. I was shocked that he extended. But I think that his agent might have said, "Look, man, you just had back surgery. I don't think teams gonna be,
Yeah, this
eager
is
to
too
give you
fucking with you
money.
right now.
Yeah. Go ahead and stay here and get this extension, and
Ball out,
we'll
and then
live
we'll talk about it after the next one.
exactly." So I think, yeah, but I mean, but the way Malone was riding him and benching him and DNPs
Word.
and talking about him in the media, saying he ain't playing defense, he ain't rebounding, all this stuff. I'm like, dude, you don't say none of that about Jokic. You know what I
You
mean?
know they
So
benched him. He benched him in the fourth quarter, I think, of the Brooklyn game.
yeah, yeah, for sure.
Call in,
He
Dennis.
played.
Call
He
in.
played. He
I want to hear
he
the
played
why.
1 minute. Call Dennis. I
I
want to
want
hear
to hear
your
why,
yeah.
Dennis.
As a matter of fact, I want to hear anybody who got Jokic for MVP. I want to hear how you defend the fact that he don't defend,
Facts.
and how can a player that's all offense and zero defense be more valuable than a player that's all offense and all defense? Two is always better than one. But yeah, you more welcome to call in. Uh, I would love to see that or hear that before we get into football. We did get on time, man. We just hit an
We
hour.
not hating on him, man. We're not hating. We still respect the game. We still see, what he does. But when you got other people doing more and better, like it's not really a conversation when it comes down to who's better. Embiid and Giannis both are better defensively and better scorers. That right
And,
there.
and and we can say that they both are even as a passer to him. The only difference is Embiid don't take the ball from his point guard and play point. James
I
Harden
don't think
is
I've
about
ever seen Embiid bring the ball up.
no, he used to do it a lot. With him and Ben Simmons, they used to take turns. Remember the issue with Ben before Doc got there. The issue with Ben Simmons and Embiid was that Embiid was shooting too many threes and playing too much on the perimeter. And it was like, if you're on the perimeter, what does Ben Simmons want to do? Not being a shooter.
Mm-hmm.
That was like, you got to let Ben get the ball. So Embiid was like, all right, Embiid could have been doing the same thing Jokic is doing, bringing the ball up court, racking up assists and all that stuff, man. But he realized he had a point guard in Ben Simmons who needed the ball, so he went off the ball. And then now with James Harden's leading the league in assists.
Crazy.
That should be Jamal Murray right now. Jamal Murray is averaging 7 assists a game. He's the point guard. He should be the one averaging 10, 11, 12 assists.
Yep.
And Jokic should be the one averaging 30 points. Like, spreading that out, those are two major roles, scoring and distributing, are two major roles on offense. Spreading it out between your first and second best player is perfect. But when you say I'm gonna give both of them to my best player and my second best player, you just get scraps. That's an appetite for destruction.
So real quick, is it Jokic's fault or is it Mike Malone's fault?
Hold on, let me get the Dino first. I agree. Giannis is not a better scorer than Jokic, but Embiid is. And Tatum is as well. Is it Malone's fault or Jokic's fault?
That they run that style of offense. Like that's like
It's Mike Malone.
Is Jokic telling Mike Malone like, "Hey, I can do this. Let me do this," or is Mike Malone saying like, "Okay, Jamal, you play off ball, and Jokic, you be the primary ball handler"?
Man, that's a good question, man. I don't know, because it's the same thing with Luka. Is it Jason Kidd that's saying, Luka, we want you to do everything? Or, you get what I'm saying? Like, I never could put my finger on who it was. And I think it's a combination of both, man, because I think every player want to win MVP, and they know that points, rebounds, and assists, if you rack up those three stats, they're not even going to think about defense. They're just going to say, oh, man, points, rebounds, and assists, anything close to a triple-double is MVP. And if you actually achieve the triple-double, automatic MVP.
Yeah.
So it's some of the player, and it's definitely some of the coach as well. And the funny thing about it is when the playoff starts, Jokic don't even play like that.
Not at all. I don't think he has a triple-double in the playoffs in his career.
Which is crazy.
And it's, you know what I'm saying? Like, I feel like because he gets these triple-doubles off against, all these teams, but to see that same team at least 4 times in a row, you can't pull it off. You can't do it because they either got tape and figured you out from the regular season, or they figured you out after the first game and locked all that down, and now they're forcing you to play a different game that you're not used to. And I feel like that's the reason why Golden State was able to bounce them like that.
Yeah, I mean, and in the playoffs, because look, on the regular season, you're on travel most of the year for 82 games, man. You play a game, you get some sleep in the hotel, you leave the next morning, right? And you on the road or whatnot. So as far as practice and film study, you get, especially when you're on the road, you get very little of it, right? So when you're seeing Denver tonight Philly tomorrow, the Bulls the day after tomorrow, right? Like how many game plans can you come up with? So you come up with like a standard game plan that you go use for most everybody, right? And then you do it because that's what y'all been practicing. It's hard to go out there with a game plan that y'all ain't never practiced, right? But when the playoffs come, we're saying, all right, we got at least 4 games with this team, and we can, and then we get 2-3 days off between each game. We can hone in on our game plan and actually, actually do some things, right? So
Right.
it's totally different. And I think what Golden State did is they realized that Jokic want to play on the perimeter. So why would I put a big man on him? I'm going to put Draymond Green on him, and that takes away all his perimeter. Because no brainer, common sense will tell you if you're 7 foot and Draymond 6'7" and he's guarding you, you need to go to the block. That's where your advantage is at. But guess what? When you go to the block, Draymond Green can actually stick with him.
Yeah.
So that means we're not doubling. So those assists you was getting, you lose 4 or 5 of them because you're not playing on the perimeter no more because you got a quicker guy on you that's going to take that ball from you. You only want to dribble around Draymond. So 4 of those assists are gone. Then you go on the block and we're not even doubling. So how you going so how you gonna get the assist then? So now we're 4. So you go a whole season averaging 24 and 10 assists, and in the playoffs we tell you the only way you go beat us is if you get 40. you got to get 40, and guess what? We wearing you out on both ends of the floor. We making you go guard every screen and roll. We going at you on defense, right? And then when you come back on offense, you banging down low, and you fatten out of shape. And you got to do this for 4 straight games.
Facts.
So yeah, so we testing your conditioning, we're testing your defensive skills, and we making you one dimensional. You got to beat us with just scoring, and you ain't did that all season.
Hey Dennis, is Jokic a better passer because of the assist numbers or because of the passes that he make?
Yeah,
that's the question.
Yeah. Like being a better passer is more complex than just going to the assist totals and saying, oh, whoever averaged the most assists is the better passer. Because honestly, I don't think Jokic is a better passer than Sabonis. And I'm talking about the father and the son. Right? Damn. But Sabonis, neither one of them is trying to run the point and average 10 assists a game. So imagine. I mean, just watching it, man. He's a good passer for a big man, but he ain't the best big man passer that's in the league or that I ever seen.
Well, we don't know how Jamal Murray passed because they made Jokic run point. I want Jamal to be able to run point for a season, and let's see if he's really who's really the better passer on the team.
The perfect comparison for Jokic is Tim Duncan. And can you imagine if Tim Duncan told Tony Parker that I'm going to bring the ball up on fast breaks and run the point, and you got to figure it out?
First off, Pop wouldn't even allow that.
Pop wouldn't allow it. No.
Pop wouldn't even let that fly.
No. What's the point of having a point guard on the floor? Let me ask you this, Dino. Who would you rather be your point guard or your center? Not seriously. Like you got an option. You got a good point guard, and you got a center that can pass. Who you want to be your point guard? Your point guard or your center?
He gonna say center.
Or let me bring it in football terms. Who would you want to be your running back? Your quarterback or your running back? Like if you had Cam Newton and Barry Sanders, which one you want to run the ball the most?
That's a back. He gonna pick Cam Newton. That's his boy. He a Carolina fan. He go, give me Cam Newton every time. Give me MVP Cam Newton. I want MVP Cam Newton.
Oh man! All right, man. Let's get
give me MVP Cam Newton.
Let's get into football, man.
All right, man. Free agency kicked off officially 4:01 Eastern Time PM Wednesday. Right. Yeah. A couple of days before that, they had the legal tampering period where people could talk to official sports agents about players and deals. So it's been a frenzy. Some of the some of the things that I've seen, some big deals, or big news. Um, Joe Burrow got some help on that offensive line. They
Was his
they gave
offensive line that bad?
terrible. He led the league in sacks, led the league in getting sacked like the last 2 seasons in a row.
So he got Orlando Brown. That's one guy. Is that
He
it?
got a no. They just picked up somebody else, and I can't remember his name. Um, I think it's Evan Brown, maybe. I
Mm.
don't know, but they picked up another one. But the thing about the surprising thing about Orlando Brown is that he's a right tackle, but he's moving to left tackle with the Bengals. He's
Interesting.
he's covering the blind spot for Joe. They gave him 4 years, 64 mil with 31 mil at signing. That's the biggest signing bonus for an O lineman in history, I believe. Austin Eckler asked for a trade from the Chargers. I think he's had enough over there. He asked permission, and just recently the Chargers granted him permission to talk to other teams
So
for a
what's
trade.
the issue there? Because I know was it this year or last year where he was out in and out for concussions?
Austin Eckler? I think that was
Yeah,
last year because not this past year, but maybe the year before. Because this past year he
yeah.
was right behind Jamal Williams for the league leading touchdowns. He was hooping.
Okay.
So
In a contract year, but the previous 2 years,
he might have
he
been a little injury prone. Yeah.
yeah. So I think that might be the issue, and
You know
plus he's
what?
slight of frame too.
I think what it was because contract extension talks did stall out. I think that he's saying that because of this year, you seen what I did, I deserve this, and maybe the Chargers organization was like, well, yeah, but let's look at the years before that. Or what Austin Eckler are we getting? Are we getting the one we saw this past season? Or are we getting the one we seen seasons before? And they probably
Right.
didn't want to pay him that much. You know what I'm
I
saying?
I wonder what his number was, and I wonder what the strategy is for San Diego. Like, is his replacement in the building? They had a rookie, right? They had a rookie that was good. Who was it?
Guyton? No, that's a receiver. Never
No.
mind. I don't know. I don't
Let me
know. I
look.
have to look deeper into that. But
Yeah.
honestly, there would be a lot of teams that would appreciate a running back with his skill set because he is an incredible two-way running back. He can run all over you, and he can also catch out the backfield, down the field, and actually make some moves in the open field. So he'll be an incredible addition. But what are the Chargers going to ask in return, and what are teams willing to give up for him? Is the question that remains to be answered.
It was Isaiah Spiller.
Oh, okay.
That was the rookie I was thinking about.
I think he did all right in the touches that he got. Austin
I
Eckler
think so too.
was healthy this year, so he got most of the touches.
Yeah.
But I think in his limited action, I think he was good. I don't know if he's the back of the future, but who knows? You know, Chargers may be able to, if they do trade on Austin Eckler.
He barely touched the ball. So I mean, I hope that ain't their backup plan. I mean, Joshua Kelly was the backup. He's okay, but I thought Spiller was more talented, but he rarely touched the ball.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's interesting, man. I mean, him getting traded, it'd be interesting where he go. It's a lot of teams that need a back. I don't know, man.
It's crazy.
I would like Eckler in a two-back system, man. He can't be my cowbell.
I ain't gonna lie to you, man. I would throw Austin Eckler over there in Philly since they just lost Miles Sanders.
Oh yeah, and Philly that GM like to make some trades and some splashes.
Bro, imagine the schemes you can come up with, the plays that you can come up with, having a running quarterback and a two-way running back, all the options that you could do.
Yeah,
man. Yeah, unless they pick one up in the draft, because they got some running backs in the draft. They're not gonna go early. It's a quarterback and defense draft early, so they're gonna be some running backs in the later rounds.
They need O-line help too.
Who the Chargers? Yeah. Justin Herbert.
They need O-line help too. Yeah,
Justin Herbert be running. Speaking of Miles Sanders, Dennis, I sent you a message about this. You ain't never responded, so I guess you don't like it. But Panthers signed Miles Sanders, 4 years, $25 million.
Now, is that a better option than Foreman would have been? Because Foreman just signed to the Bears a 1 year, $3 million contract.
Miles Sanders did show a lot. He split carries with Jalen Hurts this season, but Miles Sanders was still uh, a, an incredible running back. He put up some nice numbers,
Yeah.
and he made good with his touches that he got. You know what I'm
I don't
saying?
like the fact that Philly let him go.
I don't know. Philly is letting a lot of people go. Actually, they let
Why? But why? Are they gearing up to pay Hurts or what?
I don't know, but they let Hargrave go to San Francisco, he was on that D line for them last season.
Yeah.
They let a couple other people go. I can't remember, but um, let's see. For the offense we run, okay, well, he would know. So yeah, but okay. Now I want to know, what quarterback do you take at number one to pair with that offense? I think they're gonna take C.J. Stroud, but I think Anthony Richardson would fit. So they're not gonna take Anthony Richardson one, but I think Anthony Richardson will fit so well in that offense in
So it
Carolina.
ain't no it ain't no chance it's Bryce at all.
No, Bryce is going to Houston. And I'll tell you exactly why. Because Carolina is an aggressive, scrappy, physical team. C.J. Stroud is a quarterback that can fit that mold. He's aggressive. He's bigger. Bryce Young would get ate up playing
Yeah.
behind that and
Yeah.
trying to play in that offense. Bryce Young will fit better in Houston. He still needs to put up some weight for that, but he would not. Carolina's not going to take him number one. C.J. Stroud is now the projected over number one overall to Carolina.
That's what Dano just said too. And I like what he just said. He said when you make the Super Bowl, you gotta pay your players. Usually the team that win it they more willing to go ahead and pay, but the team that lose it, they notice the teams that lose it. A couple of things that happen. Other teams will see their coordinators as a hot commodity, and their coordinators end up leaving for head coaching jobs.
Yep.
And then other teams see the players as hot commodities, and they end up leaving for more money. And the team, and that's why it's always hard for the team that lose it to make it back to the playoffs the next year. Like they struggle to make the playoffs the next season. You know what I mean? That Super Bowl curse or whatnot.
Mm-hmm.
But go ahead.
Yeah, he said CJ. Yep. So I believe they're gonna take CJ number one. Jamal Williams signs a 3-year, $12 million deal with the New Orleans Saints after the Detroit Lions couldn't come up with a deal. I feel like that's gonna be a good fit. I think they're gonna run a 2-back system. I think they picked up Williams as an insurance policy just in case AK can't play because of his legal issues. But if he does play, that's gonna be a great 2-back system behind Derek Carr, as well as them re-signing or restructuring Michael Thomas's contract. Chris Olave had a breakout year as a rookie last season. I think they got somebody else too, another receiver.
Yeah, they did.
Yeah, so they're gonna be good down there in New Orleans.
Yeah, I like what they're doing over there.
Yep.
It's gonna be Carolina and probably the Saints fighting for that.
Oh yeah, that's both of their division to lose.
Yeah,
the Bucks are gone because the Bucks signed Baker Mayfield to a 1-year, $8 million deal. I'm believing that's their starter. They cut Leonard Fournette and Cameron Brate, so I don't know what they're doing over there. I think they won with time. They got their ring, and they're about to just go on the rebuild.
Yeah,
that was a great move for New Orleans. Commanders signed Jacoby Brissett to a 1-year, $10 million deal. Even though Ron Rivera said that Sam Howell was the day one starter. I don't understand this signing. I don't understand why. They still got Taylor Heineke too. So they dropped Carson Wentz a while ago. So now it's just Heineke, Howell, and now Brissett.
That's interesting.
It's I don't know what kind of, and it kind of messes with your rest of the offense.
Brissett's a good backup though.
No,
he's a good backup, man. He seemed like a good locker room guy. He seemed supportive. It don't look like he in competition with the starting quarterback, man. Like I seen him come in for plays to throw a deep bomb before the end of the half. I seen him come in for short yardages, just to do a quarterback sneak. You know what I mean? And he comes in and operates like he's happy to do it. You know what I mean? Like, and that's a good trait to have, man. I like Brissett, man.
For sure. My thing is, it just kind of throws off the chemistry on the offense because Brissett and Howell and Heineke are all not the same kind of quarterback.
Heineke, I want to say Heineke's gone.
Is he?
I think so.
I'm gonna have to look into that. If so, it's just Sam Howell and Jacoby Brissett, but still.
Yeah, Heineke might be with the Falcons or somebody like that.
If
Like,
that's my quarterback room, Sam Howell and Jacoby Brissett, I'm gonna take Jacoby Brissett as a starter.
yeah.
If that's my quarterback room,
What's Heineke's first name?
Taylor. I didn't see anything. I don't remember seeing anything
I
about
thought
him
I
leaving.
could have sworn I saw something. Yeah, Atlanta.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So then it's just since Ron Rivera did say that Sam Howell is the starter, I guess they just brought Brissett in as a backup.
Is a backup,
Yeah.
yeah.
Plan
Insurance
B in
policy and
case.
backup.
I think Sam Howell is gonna have like about 5 or 6 games to prove if he's a starter,
Yeah.
and then Brissett might come in and whatever from that. Zeke got cut. I mean,
Yeah.
we all knew that one was coming, but where do you think he goes? And is he a number one back wherever he goes?
If he's healthy, I don't think Zeke been healthy the last couple of years.
I think I think when he got that big contract is when he started getting hurt. And then they ended up picking up Tony Pollard somewhere along there as well.
Yeah.
And Zeke has been kind of healthy, not like super healthy, but like he's only missed maybe like a handful of games over the last couple of seasons. But Tony Pollard outperformed Zeke in that same amount of time.
Yeah, he did.
While Zeke could have performed because he was healthy, Tony Pollard kind of just took the.
So I see Zeke the same way I seen Mark Ingram when he transitioned from being a number one to a backup. And I want to say his last year in New Orleans, or I don't know if it was his last year, but one of those years in New Orleans where he was backing up Kamara.
Yeah,
they had a really, really good 1-2 punch.
Oh man, that was that was a good 2-back combo that they had.
Right. I think that's what Zeke is from now on. He's what Mark Ingram, because I want to say they was doing read options with no, they couldn't have been because Breeze was there. Was it? No,
they was Breeze was Breeze was screening to AK and Mark Ingram was running.
No. What did Mark Ingram go after he left New Orleans?
Baltimore.
It was Baltimore. He had his first season in Baltimore was good. They was doing read option with Lamar, but who was the starting running back that was the scat back? Can't remember who it was, but it was a good combo because
was it Gus Edwards?
I can't remember, but it was a good combo because Mark Ingram was doing that read option real good because he was hitting that hole, and he's a big guy, right? So I think that's what Zeke is now. He's going to be the thunder to someone else's lightning.
Dennis said Buffalo. I don't quite see how that would work. Well, no, because they used him in goal line and short yardage situations. Tony Pollard was your long yardage back this season.
Yeah, his home run days are done.
Yeah,
he ain't hitting no more home runs.
No,
and I can't put my finger on why. But I do know he changed his diet. Didn't he go vegan and he lost a lot of weight? So. Yeah, he lost a lot of weight, man. So I don't know if he lost some strength, or I don't know if he punched drunk from taking hits. I don't know.
He need to go back to eat some steak or some shit. I don't know.
Hey, well, I mean, but for what though? If he got the money, well, he got cut. But he was making good money, man. So I mean, shoot,
he'll make good money somewhere else too.
Yeah.
Juju signed a 3-year, $33 million deal with the Patriots. His career is over. That is my opinion. I think that it was a perfect storm for him in Kansas City, and if he wanted to continue to have a slightly above average career as a wide receiver, he should have stayed in Kansas City because obviously the better quarterback out of the two is Patrick Mahomes. But to go to New England with Mac Jones, who's still trying to figure out this quarterback thing, and he'll probably be the number one because I can't remember exactly who else they have. They just lost Jacoby Myers to the Raiders, so Juju will probably be the number one. But is that really something to be proud of when your quarterback is Mac Jones? So,
well, I think the better question would be: is that something to be proud of when Belichick is your head coach? Because forget questioning if Mac Jones is the guy or if Juju is the guy or if Juju is done. My question is Belichick done?
Well, Belichick has missed the playoffs, the last 2 seasons?
Yeah, he looking like Popovich. They both great coaches, But in order for you to actually be great and operate your system, you got to have great talent.
Yeah.
And Popovich don't have great talent no more, and neither does Belichick. And it don't look like neither one of them dudes can get it done.
Nope. And both of them don't know when to hang it up either.
No,
So Lions signed David Montgomery from the Bears for three
hated
years,
it.
18 million. I did not like it at all.
Hated it.
That was terrible because David Montgomery is also injury prone as well. So now we got two injury prone running backs in the backfield with David Montgomery and DeAndre Swift. Now I like Swift, but I like the role that he played behind Jamal Williams last season. Jamal Williams was the power back, he was a 3-down back, and then DeAndre Swift was the guy you swung out for your check downs and your screens and your swing passes. You now have two injury prone running backs. Our running back room is going to be hurting this season unless I don't know why we would, but take Bijan Robinson from Texas, 18th overall, because we're not taking a running back first. We're going to get that cornerback from Oregon, Christian Gonzalez. But the David Montgomery signing, I was mad. I almost threw my phone as soon as
but it's a backup role though, and I get that you saying that you think they both injury prone, but it's a backup role. Swift is the guy.
Who's the backup role?
Montgomery.
So you saying Swift is now the number one again?
Yeah, you don't think so?
I gotta see it, man. I gotta see it. I like the way when I'm telling you, I wanted Jamal Williams. I was tweeting him and everything. I tweeted the Lions organization. I was like, sign, bro. Everybody was like, sign Jamal because Jamal was the guy. He was your goal line guy, and he could hit home run shots. And then when you wanted to play action or you wanted to, do screens, that was Swift. Swift made amazing plays out of the backfield, catching screen passes and check downs. He got a couple of touchdowns off of those kind of plays. He got long yardage gains out of those plays. You want to put Swift back in the number one role, he's going to be hurt again. Because he's not a hole hitter. He's not that guy. We try to go up the middle with him, and he gets hurt. We found out what works for him. We found out what can keep him healthy and how he can help the team excel. And that was the position that he was in. And he was okay with that. He took that backseat role. Jamal Williams was the guy that you handed off to. He hit the pile or he makes something happen. He bounced off of hits. He kept going. David Montgomery is not that guy. David Montgomery, he can't hit the hole like that. Again, he's injury prone. So who knows if he takes because running backs take some incredible hits. So if he takes a massive hit, then we're down to DeAndre Swift back being the number one, and then Craig Reynolds is the guy behind him. Craig Reynolds is okay, but he's a third stringer for a reason. You know what I'm saying? So I don't understand what the logic was behind signing David Montgomery. I would have liked to left him where he was at. I would have liked to go and get I wanted to go get Miles Sanders, or I'll even pick up Zeke at this point, or I'll make the trade for Austin Eckler. Because all three of those guys would do me better than what David Montgomery is going to do this season. I guarantee it.
Yeah, you might be right.
You might be right. I was hot.
Man, I mean, but Montgomery this past season was one of his best ones, right? I mean,
it was okay, but when you got a running quarterback, I mean, how much can you really do?
Yeah, but he looked better than he did in previous years, man. Because I thought, man, at one point the Bears had Montgomery, they had Cohen, they had Tyreek Cohen, and they had one other guy.
Tyreek Cohen was a crazy guy. I know the other one you can talk about too.
They had three backs, and out of all those three backs, I thought Montgomery was supposed to be the guy, and he never was the guy. Cohen outperformed him.
Yep.
And I'm like, how the heck is this dude from North Carolina A&T coming out here outperforming you? And Montgomery, we just never panned out. And then last year, he was all right. He was okay.
Yeah, he was all right. But I don't 1 year deal, not a 3-year deal.
Yeah.
The Jets and Packers saga continues, but Aaron Rodgers said in a podcast that he intends to play for the Jets next season, and he issued the Jets a wish list of receivers and players he wanted with him there. A part of that wish list was tight end Mercedes Lewis, wide receiver Alan Lazard, Randall Cobb, and Odell Beckham. Well, the Jets made good on one of those and signed Alan Lazard to a 4-year, $44 million deal. So he'll be there waiting for Rodgers whenever the trade finally gets done. I haven't heard any news. I think they're going to pick up Randall Cobb too. I think there's some talks about that. I haven't heard anything about the other guys, but yeah, they're just trying to figure out the compensatory picks for the trade. I don't think the Jets want to come up off that. I think they have the 13th pick, or
Yeah.
they don't want to come up off that 13th pick.
So this is what I wanted to say to everybody who is looking at their wish list, and I want to emphasize wish. Um, some people are looking at that wish list as something negative. At the end of the day, it's a wish list. He's saying this is what I would like to happen, so that you don't have to 100% do that list. But I mean, it'll be noble of you to do some of it, whatever you can, or negotiate what you can't do, whatever. So he's just saying, look, man, I really like these guys, man. I understand what Lazard brings to the table. He's a guy that can go get the ball at the apex. He's like 6'5". He's a big body. He can block like a tight end. He's got speed. You know, he hasn't had a breakout season to where you would put him as a number one yet, but you've seen certain games where he showed that he can easily be a good number two receiver behind someone that's a number one, right? So that's low hanging fruit. 4 years, 44 million. Yeah, go get that guy. He's good. Your quarterback likes him. He trusts him. That's a good thing. Same thing with Mercedes Lewis. He can block. Aaron Rodgers at this age, he's 38. He's probably tired of getting hit. You get what I'm saying? I want somebody that can block and play football, and somebody I can trust to be at the same spot, because I'm a timing quarterback. I throw to the spot that you're supposed to be at the time you're supposed to be there. Yep. Right. And I need you to be able to understand that's where I'm going, just by looking at the blitz or looking at how they lining up. You know, you get what I'm saying? Like he want guys that he's on the same radar with. And at 38, he ain't got time to be training no rookies on his watch on how he operates. I can bring you in 4 guys right now that know exactly how I operate. And that's the same thing Tom Brady did. He left New England. He was old. And he was like, look, I like the chemistry I had with Gronk. Get him out of retirement. The little bit of time I spent with AB in New England, I like what we had. Bring him in, right? And then Evans and Godwin is good enough to catch on.
Yep.
So it ain't nothing wrong with appeasing Aaron Rodgers to do this. It ain't like he's asking you to break the bank. Now, the Odell Beckham thing, he is asking for $20 million, but negotiate. He just tweeted out. He was like, look, man, just negotiate. He just tweeted it out.
$20 million for one or $20 million for multiple years?
$20 million a year for a long-term contract.
Odell?
Yeah.
Mr. 2 ACLs?
Yes.
Oh, hell no.
He said, man, look, man, it's just a number. He was like, I'm willing to negotiate. And he said, look, man, but you got to remember this. He was like, what did he say? I'm going to pull his tweet up, man. Keep talking while I pull his tweet up.
While you do that, Jimmy G signed with Vegas. He's the new Vegas starter on a 3-year, $67.5 million deal with $34 million guaranteed. I would have said that was a good idea until Vegas sent Waller to the Giants for a 3rd rounder. Now he doesn't have a tight end. And you know he's a tight end quarterback.
It ain't horrible. You lost Carr. You needed a quarterback. Like what else could they have done?
Drafted one? Well, I don't know. Jimmy G will have some good connections with Devontae Adams. I feel like, and Josh Jacobs. I mean, Jimmy G is real good at turning 180 and handing the ball off. So Josh Jacobs will have another good season too.
Right.
Just as far as like if I'm in the late game situation and I'm down and I need my quarterback to win me the game, is Jimmy G that guy? That's the question I'm asking. Is Jimmy G the guy that's going to win me a clutch time game?
Well, the answer is no. The answer is no. But how many of those guys are out there?
A few.
All right. Oh, at quarterback? Okay,
yeah,
you got
Patrick Mahomes, Joe Burrow.
1. Okay, 2.
Kirk Cousins last year did it.
What? Stop
it. Yeah, he did.
Stop it. I'm not gonna let you do that.
It's true. He did it last year.
I'm not gonna let you do that.
Can we say Josh Allen?
No.
Geno? No.
You named 2 guys, bro. You named 2 guys, man.
Lamar Jackson when he healthy?
No.
Really? Okay.
It's only 2 guys.
Maybe. Possibly. But you have to have the hope that your guy can do that. That you don't hire him. You don't sign a guy on the belief. You got to believe something that he can do something for you. And Vegas believes that Jimmy G is somehow that guy. So
Vegas.
I don't know what Vegas got going on over there, but
I mean, if he can stay healthy, I mean, I think he's a good asset. He's not a bad quarterback. But he's one of those quarterbacks that um you want to I mean, to maximize your team's potential and his potential, you want to put so much around him that
mhm,
he's not the single point of failure. He's not that type of quarterback where you can say it's on your shoulders, go get us a win,
right.
right? But if all you asking him to do is find the guy who can get us a win, like if you
Just
got
get Devontae.
yeah, Devontae Adams, it would have been nice for him to still have Waller.
Yeah,
But if you got those guys and you can put the ball in their hand and they make plays, I think Jimmy is good enough to do that. He's good enough to do that, but I mean he ain't about to you ain't about to put it just solely on his back. That
yeah.
ain't happening.
And last but not least, Jalen Ramsey was traded to Miami.
How much left he got in the tank? Or how much he got left in the tank? Now he's still a good um football player, period, because he wasn't a guy that just covered.
Right.
He also tackled like
Yeah.
a safety,
In his
right?
later years, in his Rams years,
He
more so
he
the
still tackled well to me.
yeah, but he was also getting cooked. It was like 50-50. Like, yeah, he'll make a play. Like, if he got cooked, he made up for it later. But I don't like that's the but Jacksonville Jalen Ramsey was a strap in guy. Like
Yeah.
you weren't getting nothing on that Jalen Ramsey.
So when you had corners that was really good cover corners and they got a little older, maybe lose a step, what did they end up doing? And I'm talking about Rod Woodson, even Dion. I'm talking about I mean all of them. What happened? They moved them to safety,
Yep. I
right?
feel like Jalen Ramsey at safety would be crazy.
Yeah.
He man, especially in so especially not with Miami, right? Say you're in a late game situation and all you can do is just chuck it downfield, or if you try to catch him slipping with a play action deep ball or whatever. Jalen Ramsey at safety would be a good.
Yeah.
I wonder if they will switch him to safety.
I mean, it's the natural progression, man. For good cover corners that ain't locked down like they used to be. It's natural for them to go to safety. Um, so yeah, I mean, eventually he will. But my question is, what are the Rams doing by getting rid of him? Or are they trying to get under the cap somehow? Somehow they trying to. All right, we bought a Super Bowl, now we can't afford it, especially if we ain't gonna make the playoffs. So they trying to get rid of most of their big salary guys.
I don't know because they did cut Bobby Wagner. They did cut the other linebacker Floyd. They let him go.
Yeah.
Um, they paid Matthew like what one something
All the
last.
money is with Aaron Donald and Stafford.
I think they might be cutting because you got to pay Cooper when he comes back. You got to pay Cooper. There's no
Who they
reason.
go cut?
What they did, they cut Bobby. He was getting, I think he was supposed to get like 30 total. They cut Jalen. Who knows how much his contract was? You're not getting rid of Donald ever. And Stafford got you a Super Bowl, so you're just gonna let him retire when he's ready. You're not gonna cut him,
Hmm.
and you damn sure ain't cutting Cooper Cup, who
I, I'm
had
I'm gonna tell you what's gonna end up happening.
hmm,
Before, because those three names that you named, Donald, Cup, and Stafford, uh, they're not gonna cut them or trade them. But if they're not performing, if the Rams aren't performing well, you're gonna see McVay get fired.
he almost left on his own power after this season.
Did he?
But yeah, he almost he
I
almost
ain't know
called it
that.
quits. Yep. Because after the season was over, right after they had a very subpar defending champion season, McVay took some time away from the team, and everybody thought, yeah, they thought McVay might go down to Arizona to fill that Cliff Kingsbury job.
Yeah.
And McVay was like, it's either Rams or retirement at this point. and
Oh, I didn't know that.
he ended up he took some time away and came back, and he's like, I'm gonna stick with the Rams. So he came back, but he was gonna leave on his own power after this season.
Yeah, I didn't know that. I
Yeah,
had no clue.
I think
Interesting.
they said that this season. He said was very taxing on the mental. I think for the first couple of seasons, it's been easy being the Rams coach, but then winning the Super Bowl, they expect you have certain expectations as a reigning Super Bowl champion, and for
Yeah,
them not to meet that and have the season that they had, Stafford steady injured, Donald got injured, Cup got injured, and it was just a levy of things happening. And he said that was just taxing on his mental.
yeah.
He was choosing, he was almost going to choose like mental health over being a head coach.
Well, he should have chose mental health because they ain't gonna get no easier this season.
Yeah. Well, the only problem in that division now is the 49ers. I don't see Seattle keeping up with what they did last year. They barely made the playoffs last year. So the only competition for the Rams is the Niners. However, they haven't been able to beat the Niners outside of the playoffs in the last 5 years.
They won't beat Seattle this year either. Seattle got a better football team than them.
Probably.
Yeah.
But we talking about people that aren't healthy yet. We got to see what they look like when they get back. I think Stafford had surgery, Cup had surgery, Donald is probably resting. I don't know if he had surgery for what he was hurt for. So we got to see if they suck again, then they suck again. But
Yeah.
I think last year was just a way. It was a big weight of injuries that kind of dampened that season for them.
We'll see.
We shall see.
Yeah. Well, hey man, we did get on time, man. We're at 141.
This was a good episode.
Yeah, we covered everything we needed to cover, man. Interesting how the NFL free agency kicked off with a bang like that, man.
Man,
He said the Rams are done.
Oh yeah, probably. But like I said, we got to see if get everybody back healthy, and if they suck when everybody's healthy, then they suck and they're done. You know what I'm saying? But we'll see. Yeah, buy a Super Bowl. They got it.
Yeah. Everything they did was for that Super Bowl, but I think they was at least thought they was gonna get another run out of it. Like this year was supposed to be another run at least.
Yeah, I think everybody had them, at least making it back to the playoffs for sure.
Yeah, they didn't even get a chance to start jogging before everybody started falling like flies.
You know what? I'm so appreciative of that lackluster performance because we got the number 6 overall pick out of it. So thank you, Los Angeles. Thank you very much.
It was a good even trade. Good even trade. So. A Super Bowl for golf and a number 6 pick.
Yep. So I'll take it. I will take it.
Well, all right, man. We'll catch y'all on the next one, man. Appreciate y'all hanging out with us, man. Next Friday, 11 o'clock, man. We'll be actually. Are we going a different time tomorrow? Next Friday, it's still gonna be 11.
We could do 12 just to be safe. 12 is cool.
No, 11 o'clock.
I got the routine.
Yeah. Oh, your appointment is before.
I don't know how long that's gonna take. I've never had one, but it starts at 8:40. I don't know. They said about an hour and a half procedure. Maybe I don't know. But
you might still be numb when you get back.
I can still talk. I was numb yesterday.
Oh, okay. All right, bet. All right, bet. Yeah. So yeah, we might go 12 o'clock next Friday, man. So we'll let y'all know. But yeah, man. Peace. Catch y'all on next one.